All right, good morning, guys. Welcome to the Bear Bull Traders pre-market show. Happy Thursday, May 2nd. Oh, let's see. Yesterday was a little bit exciting. It was kind of crazy. Fed minutes came out. SPY was up, record highs in the morning. Then the minutes came out 2 p.m. Eastern. Everything seemed okay, kind of quiet. Popped up a little bit. And then, as you can see, as Chairman Powell began speaking, right in here, it just fell off a cliff. So, should be interesting today. A lot of companies have reported this week. There's other news out, Tesla and such. So, let's go ahead. We'll take a quick peek at what went on yesterday and go from there. So Apple, obviously, they reported earnings after the bell on Tuesday. So yesterday morning, this one was in play. It had gapped up. It had been around 200. Bounced off of that the previous day, then popped up yesterday morning around 210. Sold off at the open. I had mentioned this yesterday. I thought there'd probably be a little bit of profit taking at the open. I was looking for this, and then this bounce, I was able to get this run here. I took my position off at this point, but I had a long way I could have still gone. So anyway, I caught the big part of this move for a couple dollars, $2.50 I think it was in total. A lot of traders in the room had this Apple trade. And then a lot of people had also ended up catching the wave down later in the day, this little reversal here. And then this at the end of the day, a lot of people were catching that one as well. So that's Apple. AMD was in play yesterday as well. They had reported this thing had, I believe it gapped up yesterday morning. And then just sold off all day into that strength. So had this full wave down, did a little reversal, close to VWAP, solidly rejected. I had that 28.12 level on it, and then it continued to drop after that, and the Fed didn't help that one as well, either. CVS had a nice pop in the morning. I know a couple of people tried in here, got chopped up, and then rode this up, and then it just turned into chop most of the rest of the day. And then let's see what Fun didn't do much of anything. It was having no fun. It was just falling off a cliff at the start and then kind of chopped around the rest of the day. Pins had a nice pop at the open. I know a couple of traders in the room have been trading this. Many of us wait for IPOs to kind of settle in a little bit before they do anything. And then I also saw this big run on Netflix yesterday that was nice. So anyway, let's get on. I'm going to clear this out. And Apple's probably still going to be in play. I've got it on here twice, so let me delete that. Facebook. I meant to mention Facebook as well. This one had a huge run in the morning from like 190. From 194, got a $2 run up here, and then just fell all the way back, gave it all back plus some. So, anyway, Square is going to be in play today. CVS, I'm going to take this one off. Young, the results from the challenge should be posted soon. I sent them over last night, but I think it was a little bit late last night. So they should be posted pretty soon, though. I usually say they'll be posted by the market open the next day, so they've been getting posted a little bit earlier than normal. All right, let's see here. ABIO. That was in play yesterday. It's a super low float, 155,000 shares. Oof, I won't be touching that, but we'll take a look at it. Tesla. Under Armour had results. Tesla has a shelf offering. Square had results last night. And Yeti, Texas company. Maybe we've got some Austinites. Speaking of Texas, Andrew's going to be in Texas, so we'll be down in Austin and Dallas in 2.5 weeks. So anyway, we'll take a look at some of those. I know Qualcomm probably will be as well. Now, Carlos isn't on vacay. He has a couple of personal things he's taking care of. I think he'll be back tomorrow. So he'll be leading, and I'll be backup for him. All right, so let's start with this. Bio, this thing had a huge run yesterday. To pull the daily over, you can see this this massive spike. It had been trading, trending downward to about $5, and then just doubled in value. I know it got halted a couple of times, so it may be of a little bit of concern. The volume this morning, 501,000 shares, and it's heading up a little bit. So we'll take a look at it in a minute. Could be interesting. Not my wheelhouse, but we'll take a look. Under Armour, like I said, it's gapping up on earnings, 326,000 shares. We'll probably get its cousin, UA, on here soon, but UAA is usually traded a little bit more. So this is not the prettiest pre-market, but it just reported not too long ago. So let's see if this builds a little bit into the morning. Come back to it. UAA can trade pretty well, so that's an interesting one. Then we've got Tesla. So, a lot of people have speculated for quite some time that they are going to have to raise more capital for their expansions. And they announced that SEC filing this morning. At first, the details weren't really known on it. And I think a little bit more info's come out, but I haven't been able to read it yet. So, this is a little strange. Usually when somebody comes up with some kind of a secondary offering, they go down, but maybe it's just not as much as people had anticipated or something of that sort. I mean, everybody's said for over a year that Tesla was going to have to raise capital, and Musk said they wouldn't. So it could be interesting. You just got to be really careful on Tesla. It's got close to a $10 ATR, so you can see it's $9.45, which is big even for a $245 stock. We got Square. They reported last night. I think they beat EPS and revs, but I think they had a decline in payment processing or something, so there was some concern there. Looks like it's bouncing a little bit from that concern yesterday. Change this over to a 15. So there's that drop on earnings announcement all the way down to under 68. And it's come back about half that loss. And then Yeti. Oh, wow. Yeti's fallen off a cliff this morning. I have not looked. Is Yeti on earnings? That's the one that I have not yet looked at. Yeah, earnings. All right. I know this one's run up big recently since its IPO. So you can see it IPO'd, 6-8 months ago? And it's just run from mid-teens up to 30. So, it got more than a double on that, but now it looks like it's starting to give some of that back. So we'll see. Has anything else popped up? UA and UAA, big traders asking in the YouTube chat. One is preferred shares and one is common shares. They trade pretty much in tandem. But you'll see UAA is so you see that's the common stock, and this is a different class. So it's just different classes of, I think one has voting rights, one doesn't, is probably what the difference is, and I can't remember off the top of my head. But, I mean, they're essentially, the move is essentially the same. You just get more trading on UAA, more volume. Yeti had good earnings. Profit taking. Let's see here. What else do we have? We got W that I'm going to take UA off because there's no reason to have the duplicate in my mind. Wayfair down 5.2%. This one This one can trade a little bit choppy. I've traded it in the past, so yeah, MPDI or L. I can. That's a good idea. I appreciate the compliment. But I'll take a look, and maybe we can do some kind of forum post on sources of news and such. So anyway, that's what we got for the time being. And then let's look at active and gainers. So active, obviously we've looked at Tesla. We've got Qualcomm on the list, which we're going to take a look at in a minute. AMD we've got, and we'll look at ABIO. Zynga, I know this one was upgraded. I can't remember what bank upgraded it from a $5 to $8 price target, but somebody did last night or this morning. This one is, Eric is always on the list, and it trades very poorly. QQQ's a NASDAQ ETF. TVIX is the VIX ETF. Short now, okay, and then Apple, which we're going to look at. DMRC, no volume. Zynga, APRO. That's Chopfest penny stock. FLNT. It's an interesting pop. That looks like maybe it's a block trade or something. Oh, no volume, 5,700 shares. BLIN. No bueno. Penn, no volume. SHOA, no volume. AKBA, no volume. Excuse me, and no volume. So that's what we got there. Let me get a couple more lines here, then we'll pull in what you guys are looking at. All right, what do we got? Yeah, we got that. Merengue, BPTH. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. Now, Carlos did great on that BPTH, but I think he was white knuckling the whole trade. I would have been. Pins, yeah, we'll look at pins. Some people have been trading it. I won't trade it. I generally don't start trading IPOs until they've been out for a little bit. So, but we'll definitely take a look. Let me scan over here and see what else you guys are throwing out. Qualcomm W have. Vikram in the room mentioning the 26% short interest, and I'm surprised it's that low because at times it's been a lot higher than that. You got to remember though, some of those people are short from 350 or so, so a $15 pop means not much. Teva, Car, Cree. EB. All right, let's take a look here. So Qualcomm's got almost 1 million shares traded already this morning. It's actually got pretty decent pre-market action. Nice clean move up this way. It's up 1.3%, so it's not quite to the 2% that would put it on the scanner, but this is worth keeping an eye on. It's been in play a ton recently, as we all know. So we'll take a look at that. I think they said they were going to get 4.5 or 5.5 billion out of the Apple deal they just made. They thought annually. I thought was the news. Pinterest, there's really no volume this morning. The spread on this can be pretty terrible. Actually, I'm surprised it's only, 10 cents ish right now. So in the pre-market, because there's not much going on with it. Light volume. Teva, 1.4 million. That looks like it's probably a block trade. It's a huge chunk of that 1.5. It's running a little bit. We'll keep an eye on it. They report this morning. Somehow I missed that one. What's up, A-Dog? Car's down 7.1%, but it's got zero volume, only 1,600 shares traded, so we'll delete that one. Cree, same kind of deal here. We've got a big gap, 11%, but there's no volume on it. Maybe something we can look at later. Keep an eye on for scanners. Let's see, what else do we have? EB. Pre-market actions, just kind of nothing down. Whoa. Yeah. What's the float on EB? Let's take a look. DAS says it's 78 million, 34 million in TI, so a little bit of discrepancy between the data feeds, but that is a massive drop. That's ugly. Ooh. Hopefully nobody here owns that overnight. All right. Anybody else have anything? And then we'll start looking at, we'll start getting some levels on this stuff. Naka, yeah, EB is falling off a cliff, but there's no volume on it. I'll put it down here just in case. We'll take a look at it and see if any more volume comes in. I don't think any shares have traded even since we've been sitting here talking about it. So 45, yeah, I mean, it just doesn't have enough price action. Hey, Bio got crazy. Yeah, we're about to go back up there and start looking at some levels. So, all right, so let's take a look at Apple. I already have a lot of the daily stuff marked from yesterday, so we can leave those on there. This actually, if I remember correctly, it paid attention to this 212.79-ish level. And I say ish because these are all, you know, there's a little wiggle room in there exactly where it can be. Most of you guys know that, but let's take a look at pre-market. Not a whole lot going on. It's relatively flat, but we'll mark high and low pre-market. AMD, it's not doing much. I'm not going to mark that one right now. A bio. All right, let's get some dailies on this. It's had these massive spikes in the past and just fallen off a cliff. So that right there is a pretty clear level, about 1550. It's hit it 1, 2, 3 times. We've got this level here, and you can see it just paused at this level as well. So it's just hanging right above that at the moment. And then we'll mark this in case it really goes crazy. Maybe Brian will hop in the room and say this thing's going to 70, like BPTH. So let's go back in time and see if we have anything else. I'm gonna look at the weekly. Yep, we got to go back to 17. See what else we might have in this region. Pretty clean level, 2085. Let's get some downside. 1125, 26. Oh, look at the 2 minute. It may blow past that. Yeah, that is nuts. And then it dropped. Whew. That's why I don't trade 150,000 share floats, super low floats like that. All right, UAA, these levels are old. It's from a long time ago. I haven't traded UAA in months. So look at the daily here. Get back up to current. All right, so we've got a nice level there from previous day high. We've got a couple in there. We're going to go back in time. Oh, there we go. So we'll mark. This looks pretty decent. Right at 25, 24.98. And then this level seems pretty significant too. So, I mean, they're 75 cents. And we've got a whole lot of levels in there already. I'm going to mark this one as well because it bounced off that a couple times and it has a recent level in the last 2 days on that. Take a look at a 5 minute. That's good for Tesla for the moment. Merengue asking, why did AMD drop if it beat EPS? I mean, there can be a lot of reasons for that. Things aren't as simple as you beat and, I didn't hear their conference call or anything, but a lot of times analysts will pick up on some kind of wording or something in a conference call that makes them think that the company doesn't think that forward-looking things aren't as strong as they have been, maybe, even though they beat for the last quarter. They could have lowered their guidance. And also, AMD's run a ton. I mean, it ran from 12-ish to mid-30s last year, fell back to the teens, and now it was back up to about 29-ish or 30. So, I mean, people have doubled in that. They take off some profits and, get your money up. Move on to something else. Because, I mean, the easy money was made already, it seems. So that's probably what they're thinking. That's my thought process. Yeah, and that big trader's correct. Earnings beat already priced into the stock is very possible. Yeah, I mean, we'll look at AMD. We'll definitely keep it on the list because a lot of times it won't trade especially well pre-market, and then it'll be in play during the day. Yesterday, that wasn't the case. It was heavy pre-market because of earnings and everything, but I've got far too many levels on Tesla. Probably all the way back from funding secured days. We're going to mark that moving average, and that's essentially the high of pre-market. So that's an interesting level. 276, there's no way. Oh, I shouldn't say that, it's Tesla. 255-ish. Looks pretty significant. For downside, it's been a long time since Tesla's been here. After that 250-ish level broke, that it bounced off of multiple times. So let's take a look in here and see if we can find a couple just in case it sells off. There's some kind of profit taking. 227-ish, it's probably about 225. These whole numbers on data be down that way. So I think that's enough. There's a lot of congestion from the last few days with levels in there to use. So that'll work on Tesla. Boris has inside information and trade talks. It seems it should be done by next Friday. Was there news that came out on that? Interesting. Okay. I thought Boris was in the White House maybe and telling us what was going on, giving us a heads up. But everybody that's been watching CNBC heard that. Okay. I usually have it on for news in the morning to see if there's something out there, but you know what? I'm going to delete these levels before we get going on Square. All right. I'm going to start with the downside on Square. Square is one of my love to hate stocks, right there with Tesla and IQ. And I said it yesterday, I'll say it again today. Stocks tend to have personalities. And just like in relationships, sometimes people's personalities don't get along. That's me and Square. I never seem to be able. Every time we've ever been on a date, it's been a miserable experience for both of us. Mark this low down here. It chops around. You have to give it such a wide stop usually that it's, in my opinion, Let's go to Yeti. This is low-ish float. I probably won't trade it, but it's at least worth marking some levels. So I got about 30, 40. I need to, which coincides pretty well. That's from back here, and this level, this support it found, which a lot of times can turn into resistance. It looks like it's tested that this morning. ABio was in play yesterday, Boris, and I don't know what the news was on it. It's such a low float. To me, when I see 155,000 share float stock double and then almost double again before the next day even, I'm pump and dump rings in my head, and I don't want to be the bag holder in that. So let's see here. W. Got these levels from previous times. So let's mark over here. Pre-market low. Pre-market high coincides with that 158 level up there. Let's look at the daily. Got a pretty clear level right here, 143.59-ish. And then who knows? These moving averages loses this, and today is unlikely. That would be a massive drop, but it's got this gap back here that it possibly might want to fill at some point. So I'll mark this just for the heck of it, but that would be a ridiculous drop. Let's get a couple to the upside. It's got the previous day levels to the upside a little bit. It looks like there's a little bit of resistance right there, 157.23-ish to me. And then, yeah, so that's good. All right, let's see what's going on with these. Qualcomm, just kind of bumping around, 1.1 million shares traded. We've got some levels up there. If it breaks these, I'll keep an eye on it for a breakout. And then let's mark 82.50. That's the low of pre-market. Higher pre-market fits in there, and that's too close. We'll leave that. Pins. We'll take pins off. It's barely had any volume. It very well could move today. Like I said, the spread can be pretty nasty. You really got to watch that on it. I haven't found it to be predictable enough to trade yet, so I'm going to take that one off. Then we've got Teva. Teva, 1.2 million traded, down 5.4. What was the news on Teva? Was it earnings? Or did they have some kind of FDA news? Earnings. And then EB, still nothing going on there, so I'm going to take that off. Maybe it'll pop up and hit the scanners later. Delete this bad boy. All right. What's up, Day Trader for Life? I'm sorry, man. He'll be back tomorrow, I think. If not, he'll be back Monday. Everybody deserves some time off, so let's see here. Got anything else? We've got a little bit more time. Anything? All right. Well, let's go through some quick announcements while I've got you here. So let me see if the challenge stuff has been posted yet. Zynga, UA. So Dan, UA and UAA are both Under Armour, different classes of shares. UA typically trades a little bit lighter, lower volume than UAA, so that's why I have that up here. And you don't need to have both of them because they generally make the same moves. Zynga. Yeah, Zynga. We looked at Zynga earlier. Why did I take it off? Didn't realize I did. So let's mark this. I know this one was on an analyst upgrade. So I think we're going to have to go way back to find a level in this range on Zynga. So these are not necessarily that useful, but we'll see. 891. 741. It's sitting right at this level right now, but I'm going to mark it in case it moves from it. Downside, we've got right at $5 and then 451, but I don't see it doing that. What else do we have? GE. GE usually moves so little, it's very hard to trade. Yeah, it's just kind of choppy action in here. Oh, this is a daily from it, sorry. But I'm looking at that 2 minute up there, and this just 160,000 shares traded for GE is nothing. That's like a penny falling out of Jeff Bezos's pocket. That's how small that is. So this really isn't tradable that I see. So I'll take that one off. What else we got? Anything? I'm a little bit surprised we haven't had anything new pop up on the gappers in the last few minutes. All right. So anyway, back to announcements. Okay, so we do have the third day of the Bearable Traders Challenge posted. There we go. They're on the homepage, bearabletraders.com. We've had a few people hit 2 days. So the whole goal, if you guys, some of you may be new, not aware of the challenge, this is the second time we've done this, and instead of just going for a straight P&L kind of deal, we wanted consistency, which is, you know, what we try to work on ourselves in the community. So you can see the two people up in the lead, both have been on the leaderboard 2 days this week, 2 out of 3 so far. So that's really awesome trading. 004 down here, position 5 has been in the top 10 in the last 2 days as well. So there's a number of those, and that's really what we're striving for. It's kind of awesome to see that, some of those filtering up to the top. And, you know, you've got their P&L on here. It's, you know, they started with a $25,000 account and 4-to-1 margin, so $100,000 buying power. So, you know, 5%, 2%, I mean, those are awesome days, but it's just not out of control, like doubled my account in 5 minutes, you know, kind of trading. So you can take a look at that, see where you are. Good luck to everybody in that. And then the forum post, have you guys already posted the forum? Will you post the alert, Peter, of the setup pictures forum post? I'm taking a look for it if I can find it. So if you could, you guys send us pictures of your trading setups with that Bearable Trader, with Andrew's book, whatever it is, BBT on the screen. You can post them in the forums. He's unlocked that, so you can post those there. We're going to have the winner. They're going to give away a laptop. Andrew's going to give away a laptop. We're trying to figure out exactly how we're going to determine it, because it's, you know, obviously it's subjective. So we might have a voting thing where the community can vote and what their favorite setup picture is. And, you know, we're going to have it on the website to promote and stuff. So if you don't want to be a part of that, understand that. It mentions it in the post itself. Also, like I said, Andrew's going to be down here in Texas. He'll be in Austin and Dallas the weekend of the, I think it's the 19th and 20th. The Austin meetup, I believe, is going to move to Saturday. So hopefully some people from Houston and such, you know, or San Antonio, any of that, the Central Texas, South Texas, might be able to join us since it's on a weekend. And then, what else do we have? He's going to be at the Modern Trader Summit in Montreal. He'll be speaking there June 22nd. They're going to have a meetup at Montreal, 6/21, June 21st, which I believe is a Friday evening. We have the challenge. Am I missing any announcements? Well, we'll see what we can do, Seth. I'll talk to you. We'll figure it out. We're aiming for Saturday, Sunday, Austin and Dallas. One got flipped. So just shoot me an email, norm@variabletraders.com, or you can PM me later. All right. What else do we have, guys? Let's see. It looks like we've got a couple other things popping up on the list, so let's take a look at those and see if we want to add them. And if you go to our Facebook page, Variable Traders Facebook page, you can register for the event there. So if there's anybody else, Seth mentioned he had gotten some tickets to come see us, and it was messing with his schedule a little bit. So if there's more of you like that, send me an email, norm@variabletraders.com, and we'll figure out how to work that out. Let's see here. What else added to our list? PRPO, MGTA, and EB came back. So it apparently got some volume. So let's take a look at these three while we're sitting here. Daily on this. This is another one of these. I think was this one we talked about with Carlos the other day? I thought it looked a little crazy. It was just hanging out 45 cents. This was a reverse split, wasn't it? So we'll take this off. MGTA. This actually, the daily I like, just kind of smooth flow and then gap down. See if it can bounce or see if it's going to continue down. That's pretty decent. Action, let's check the pre-market. Mark the high up there. It's not great. I probably will take this off my list, but for the time being, we'll put it on there. Mark those levels. See what else we can find on the daily in here. High, that'll work. So, daily. There we go. We'll mark this level to the upside, 1489. It's not very far, but that looked like it's pretty decent support back there. So we'll go with that for now. And then EB, huge gap down on EB, $10. 34%. We'll mark that just in case, but let's go back. Is this just IPO last year? Oh, yes. So, another announcement for the chat is Brian's going to start doing, much like William does his awesome trade reviews the last hour of the market. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, Brian is going to start swing trading afternoon session with Brian Mondays, and it's going to be from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern. So, or market time, 2:30 to 3:30. So, it'll start an hour and a half before the market close on Mondays. He's going to go through some of his thoughts on swings that week. I know he talking about some sector ETFs and such. So it should be pretty interesting. I'll be tuning into that one for sure. As you know, Brian has his Amazon book, How to Swing Trade, Brian Pesum. So you can take a look at that if you want to get an idea of his thought process in swing trading. All right, guys. Anything else? Okay, we got a couple of questions here. So Rahul in YouTube is asking if I close all my positions by market close, do I have all my buying power available to me the next trading day? So yeah, the buying power is calculated based on previous day closing equity available. So that'll be what it's based on. So essentially the answer to your question is generally yes. If you're flat, you'll be able to have all that buying power. What else? What else do we have, guys? Oh, and we also have a lifetime webinar tonight. I forgot about that one. It is 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Is that right, Peter? Yep, 8 p.m. Eastern, Brian and Andrew lifetime webinar, so check that one out. And what else? Avon. Somebody posted Avon. I'm not getting anything on that. Yes, shares float is the number of shares that are in the float. AVN. Nope. Let's see. Well, I mean, there are different rules for different brokerages. There are different rules for different countries and such. But in general, for instance, in the U.S., most brokerages, you get 4-to-1 margin for day trading, and you can only have 2-to-1 overnight. So, yeah, I mean, your equity, if you had 30,000, it would 4-to-1 would be 120,000 buying power. But like I said, I've heard it's different in Canada. For instance, I think like IB gives you 3.33 to 1. I know we've got a lot of Canadians, so maybe a couple of them can chime in and tell me if that's right or not. You know, CMEG gives 6 to 1 if you have over 2,500 in your account. So, thank you, Sky. Yep, and then, yeah, Beyond Meat IPOs this morning. So generally those are, depends, you know, like Lyft IPO'd really late just because there was so much of a pump around it and so much news that it pushed it back a little bit. But, you know, generally 10:30 or so after that is when those take place, after they can get the settle down. Yes. So CMEG, like almost the 2-to-1 thing applies almost universally. I'm not aware of anywhere it doesn't. And that's the same thing with like interactive brokers. They will close out positions, liquidate positions if you're over 2-to-1 in the last 10 minutes. Andrew should be here soon. Big Sente. Yeah, Louis, it is 3.333 to 1. So I was off by a rounding error. What else has popped up? Anything in SPR? All right, guys. So I am going to say farewell to YouTube. Thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, Carlos may be back tomorrow. I believe he'll be back tomorrow. I'm not 100%. It may be Monday. And thank you for watching. Trade safe. If you want to come try out our room, give it a shot. You can come give it a whirl for 2 weeks, $24. Use the promo code premarket24. And thank you for joining us, guys.